Welcome everybody. We are back to more Lord of the Rings TCG foil content. Today we're going to talk about the Battle of Helm's Deep. I just completed this set recently and I have the 10 hardest to find cards. I would call them rarest, but technically they're all the same rarity with maybe a couple hiccups, and we'll talk about that a little bit. But I have 10 cards. The last slot is a little bit of a cop-out, but you'll see what I mean when we get there. So this set had 128 foils. You'll note that the other sets from the first movie block, sets 2 and 3, had 122. Why is there 128? Well, they decided to do AIs, or alternative images, of 6 cards, which is just so annoying. And I believe the only way you could get these AIs were in the starter decks. They're trying to incentivize people to get the starter decks. I don't know the full history, but they made them in foil, and they're really annoying to find. So you will definitely see them on the list. But let's get started. So in 10th place, we have Gambling, Warrior of Rohan. A somewhat, I think he has a bit of an unceremonious death, I believe. I think he dies with the wargs, but anyways, this card was just kind of hard to track down. Maybe Hummus dies with the wargs, but he was just kind of hard to find. I don't know why. He's like a $30-$40 card. I think this set in general was kind of underprinted, had a bit of a weird print run. There's like 2 different box styles, and some of the other sets had a lot of uncut sheets that were maybe distributed. I think Battle of Helm's Deep was not as well stocked after the closure, so this card was hard to find. I think in general, set 5 is like a weird set that has a lot of valuable kind of rares in it, and is kind of slept on. A lot of people don't really collect it a lot, so maybe more of it kind of like it was underprinted a little bit. I think that happens a lot of times with those middle sets and blocks. People skip sets, right? They can't do everything. So next we have a kind of random one, but this is Sharku's Warg. So you might remember Sharku was, I think, the leader of the wargs that attacks the sort of caravan on the way to the Battle of Helm's Deep. This card is very good in decks. It's annoyingly hard to find, so this is next on our list. I don't quite know the prices for a lot of this stuff. I would say $40 to $50 maybe. I got this in trade. I try to do only trades with this because I just, as I've said, spent a lot of money in this game. I'm trying to save money here, guys. So that is the next one. That's number 9. Number 8, Lindenroot, Elder Shepherd. What's cool about Lindenroot? Well, he's an Ent. The Ent kind of meta gets fleshed out a little bit in sets 5 and 6, and Lindenroot's pretty good. So this is a nice card to include in decks. Kind of a cool image, right? This is a decent looking Ent here. Kind of, yeah, maybe not the best CGI, but I think he's pretty cool looking. All right. Next, we have a Gimli Skilled Defender. I actually remember exactly how I got this card. I met a guy in a mall and bought it from him. When you collect 1,839 cards, there's a little story behind a lot of them. So anyways, this card was just randomly hard to track down. I don't know why. I don't really play a lot of dwarves. I don't really know why he's good. But I think he's kind of like a good, just like battling Gimli. So pretty popular card, I believe, in dwarf decks. All right, next we have a Foul Horde. There's 2 versions of this. This is the one that is the non-alternative image. This is just a pretty popular card in decks. I don't play a lot of this format, so I'm not super familiar with like metas and why, but kind of a cool looking card, right? You see the galloping wargs here. They did such a good job foiling this stuff, though. It's great. All right, so we had Sharku's Warg. Now we have Sharku. I believe that's how we pronounce his name. He is the warg captain. He's the one that says Aragorn took a tumble over the falls, which was accurate. He wasn't lying, but, you know, Aragorn survives, obviously. So this was just hard to find. You're getting probably over the $50 range. The full Battle of Helm's Deep set sold, I think, recently for like $1,100 to $1,200 as a set, and that's 128 cards. I think collecting anything as singles is always kind of boneheaded, just to be honest, but it's a lot more fun, so I prefer to do that. All right, next we have Gollum Stinker. This is a really popular card for what's called Gollum Ninja. So you basically just outfit Gollum as like a just total beast and kind of just power your way through here. So this is a really integral card for that. This list only has 10 cards, as I said, but you probably could have had way more than that. You just have to draw lines. So that's number 4. Number 3 is Saruman, Master of the Foul Folk. I almost said Free Folk, but this is not Game of Thrones. This card I had to actually buy from a guy in Canada. It was just hard to find. I don't know why, just couldn't locate it. Anyone known had it, so I ended up buying this one. But I can't really say if he's good in decks or whatnot, but it's just a card that's in third place. Christopher Lee, legend, absolute legend. I'll never forget the sort of scene of Peter Jackson saying how Christopher Lee was describing to him how a person sounds when they're stabbed in the back. It's a great video. So Christopher Lee was just total legend. Okay, so next we have our second to last place slot. This is a weird one, and I think there's some sort of distribution issue story with this, but this is Dead Marshes. This might be the hardest card to find in the set, to be honest. I believe it was like underprinted where there's supposed to be 2 of them on a rare sheet, and there's only 1. Something like that happened where a bunch of folks who are all finishing foil sets all said that this was like the last card they had to find. And it was just, I don't quite know the story. I believe it was like supposed to be 2 and only 1 or something like that, but Dead Marshes, not particularly good. It's just hard to find. So that's our second to last slot. So what does that mean for our last slot? Well, it means the 6 stupid AIs that you have to collect. So here we have all of them. We have break the charge, and they're just kind of random. Some of these are okay. Break the charge. We have Baruch Kazad. This is a pretty good card. We have a different version of Foul Horde, so just a different series of wargs running down a hill. An Army of Haradrim, a Rohirrim Helm, and a Thunderous Host. Thunderous Host was randomly really hard to find for me. Some of these are okay in decks, some of them are not, but collectively they're just weird enough where a lot of people didn't even realize that there's this AI version, and it's just kind of a, I don't even think they're in like a rare slot on a sheet. I can't remember. But for me, these 6, it was just so tedious to find like 6 cards that I already had a version of, but these are different versions, and they were just annoying, and I ended up buying a few of them, couldn't get them through a trade. So this is our final slot. Maybe that's a cop-out to say 6 cards collectively, but the alternative images were annoying, and I'm happy to have them done. So set 5, Battle of Helms Deep, complete 128 of 128. Really proud of that, and eager to get this whole set complete. So thanks for tuning in, everybody. We'll be back with Ents of Fangorn next. Catch you next time. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff.